Hey guys, here is Kakala Sanari. You might know me from the in-game name. I'm gonna do an analyze of the market. I'm gonna do a couple of key factors, and we're gonna go through it because just gonna make a couple of predictions based on a couple of key factors. So we're gonna take a look at the Plex, and we're looking at the Plex, and we know what the price is at the starting from January. Yeah. And at the start of the year, the Plex was having a high average, but I think in the month of March it just started dropping down a little bit, and now it dropped steadily to 417, 418 in late February and early March. Just indicates like the people were desperate for raw liquid disk. And from March to April, they're just been on relentless climb, if you can see. They've been hitting highs. They're just going over 446. There's just even more. I think the key takeaways is just that likely the inflation is back. The trend is definitely upwards. It means if the price of the Plex is rising, it means that the ISK is kind of losing its power. Yeah, and players are generally accessing the ISK in game now and dumping it to Plex as a safe haven asset. Yeah, we know that when Plex goes up, usually just acts as a riding tide for eventually lift the prices of almost all the major assets in the game. So, what I recommend is just like you kind of need at the moment to just convert your ISK into hard assets. I think this is the time to do it, if I have to make a prediction. Alright, we're gonna take a look at the other indicator, and that'll be isogen. And I've been taking a look at the isogen, and it's just like let me see the graph. Yeah. it's just incredibly stable, but just kind of hover over between 190 ESC and 200 ESC. The volume, though, very predictable, between 200 million and 400 million. This is usually normal for a state review, but if we look over the, like, starting from March, let me see. Yeah, starting from March, the price was apparently hovering at the 184. The volume is also normal. But then the prices dropped all of a sudden, and it crashed down to 147, and the volume jumped to 777 million, and the bottom price was like around 145 ISK. So the volume exploded to 2.26 billion, and the price stood at 145 ISK. And it looks like the volume is still massive. So it means that likely somebody just panic sold or liquidate their stockpile of isogen. Yeah. They just crashed the price, by 25% over the night, just to get liquid disk. So yeah, the people who just knew what to trade, they kind of gobble up all these 4 billion units at the low price. And ever since, the price kind of just walked back to 180 to 182 ISK. And because of this massive liquidation, that's why the isogen sits at the 100 ISK-ish price, and it's definitely lower than the January, if we look at, which was like an average of 195 ISK. So if the main take is just that isogen is definitely underpriced, and it will highly likely that will go over for the next few weeks. And I predict that will probably just go at the like a 200 ISK mark, or hit like the 200 ISK mark. So buying isogen right now, it's definitely very safe and very low risk. So yeah, if you want to invest money, it's definitely in isogen right now, by the looks of it. And yeah, we're just gonna take a look at the next. That will be helium. Helium. before I do that, let me just finish this mission. Okay, so helium, I mean, if we look at the vast majority of March, the price slowly was dropping to down from 800, and so it's now like in 750-esque range, and but yeah, the very important, the volume was kind of low. Usually between 20 to 60 million. Now it just shows that it's kind of a relative peace in Allsec. No major capital fleets were deployed, and it seems like alliances are just maintaining their baseline fuel needs. But Fulik recently kind of out of nowhere, the volume kind of explodes, and to 225 million, and the price kind of jumps up too. And seems like the prices, and the volume is kind of incredibly high. And the price is just go up over 800. It kind of averages right now 806-esque. It means that likely is like there might be like a lot of there's a huge move in nullsec, likely the massive coalition mobilized their fleets, and they are just panic fueling a massive network of citadels for impending defensive wars. And it seems like just consumed 340 million of helium isotopes in 48 hours. It just requires alliance level logistics. So what our take is, the Plex is rising. The game is kind of experiencing an inflation. The ISK is kind of trash. Hard assets are kind of good right now. And what do we see? Helium isotopes are spiking. It means that war likely just either starting fleets are actively deploying. And the isogen, because of that freak 4 billion unit dump that happened like last week, the isogen is sitting unusually low, around 180 isk. So to conclude, if capital fleets are moving, ships are likely just gonna get exploded, and likely industrials will have to build new ones. So I predict that isogen demand is gonna skyrocket in the coming weeks, and it recovers from the current low price. I mean, so the play is, if you kind of miss the trend on the helium isotopes right now, but yeah, the spike is definitely already happening, so you should probably just buy as isogen. It's still cheap, from the March crash, and likely with the war indicators of the isotopes, it guarantees that demand is likely coming. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you like it. If you do, let me know. Let me know what you think about this first episode of analyzing the markets. I don't know, I felt I could do it regularly. Let me know what you think. Bye bye.